Blender 4.4 is finally here. It's a massive new update, including performance improvements, new animation tools, and more. We're going to cover all those features in less than 5 minutes. But before we start, let's pause and appreciate the fact that the animated Oscar film of the year, Flow, was animated entirely in Blender. It was also rendered in Eevee and, from my understanding, on a single computer. And let that be an inspiration to all of you out there learning Blender, that you can create impactful artwork with minimal hardware and a limited budget. And on that note, let's dive into Blender 4.4 and all the new features. We now have slotted actions in Blender, a new type of action clip which allows you to store animation for multiple objects, such as a camera's position or lens setting, all in one clip. You can easily combine multiple objects into one action or break them apart for more control. Now, this doesn't sound super exciting on paper up front, but it's a sign of things to come with the new overhauled animation system in Blender that is making everything easier to use for us. One real-world example why this is so exciting is because it makes the whole process of action strips cleaner, meaning that you can mix your animations like a game dev pro and save a ton of time on your productions. I actually showed this in a recent tutorial using motion capture footage and mixing multiple animations together. If you're enjoying the channel and want to help support it, check out Patreon, where I give away project files, materials, and do project walkthroughs and more to try and help you improve your Blender workflow. I also have a couple products on sale and some courses as well. You can find links to all that below, but let's get back to the video. The pose library scene updates and no longer auto-sets the pose as the current action. It now supports multi-armature poses and saving to external asset libraries. There's new options to adjust, replace, add, or remove pose data. The graph editor's noise modifier now has some additional options for fine-tuning that procedural animation. Bone collection mirroring now works with symmetrizing armatures. With constraints, we have relationship lines no longer appear when a constraint has no target. This just helps clean up the visuals. Geometry nodes saw a massive performance increase through singular nodes, such as the triangulate node being 30 to up to 100 times faster, or things like the sort element node being 50% faster. There's new features such as the collection and object input nodes, making it easier to reference external objects. There's a find and string node that lets you locate substrings and visual text generation. And then the join geometry and realize instances now preserve your vertex groups, keeping deformations intact. Normals now output per face corner, and text overlay in the 3D viewport now supports matrix attributes. Some features have been brought back to Grease Pencil, including stroke placement options, auto masking and sculpt move has returned, and the lasso and box erase tools work again. There's been dope sheet improvements with layers and layer groups now having colors, improving their visibility. Vertex colors and layer tinting now render in solid mode. Lock all and unlock all now work for layer groups, not just individual layers, and the hide others now respects your layer groups. Although technically not part of 4.4, I'd also like to call out that the clay pencil tool that is free has been updated as well, which gives you a bunch of control with Grease Pencil and geometry nodes. Editing selection saw improvement with the new select by trait for poles, which allows you to identify 3, 5 pole or more targets to help you analyze your topology. We now have better triangle to dot conversions and a new option that allows a grid-like structure when converting. Face corner normal calculation is 15% faster, improving viewport playback overall for editing. Select linked pick now works in curve edit mode. With sculpting, we got a new brush called the plane brush. It basically combines the flatten, fill, and scrape brush into one versatile tool. And the cloth brush saw some minimal tweaks too. Persistent mode is off by default, avoiding unwanted deformation. And the grab cloth tool now uses local simulation area by default, which is the expected behavior. Now the eyedropper tool can be canceled without losing your original color, and there's a new overlaid location property for stroke-based tools allowing custom stroke positioning. Now video rendering and the video sequence editor saw some updates as well. A big one is that now they have H.265 encoding supported for better compression and quality. There's support for 10-bit and 12-bit color depth output, and videos now default to the BT709 color space. This was previously unspecified, causing inconsistencies. There's been a lot of other quality of life updates, including improvements to the coloring, improvements to rotation metadata, copying strips and keeping all the effects. Text strips have had a lot of edits, making them easier to work with. And we've seen a lot of performance boosts, including faster proxy building for image sequences, float HDR content plays back more smoothly, and many video sequencer editor effects now run more efficiently due to better multi-threading support. The asset browser now sorts by catalog by default, which is better for organization and a lot easier to manage. Kind of a small one, but also very convenient. You can now use Ctrl-C and V to copy and paste UVs. Previously, this feature was hidden under developer extras, but now Mesh Indices Overlay is available in the viewport. The viewport render animation now has a progress bar, and this is kind of cool, but now you can actually play animation in sculpt mode. Our optics denoiser has been improved. It has better color accuracy and detail retention, and there's less blotching in most cases, except if you're on a really older GPU. But we have a new sample subset for distributed rendering as well. This helps split rendering workloads across multiple computers. We also have precompiled kernels added for the RTX 50 series GPUs, making cycles future-proof for new hardware. There's also a faster selected to active baking method. We also have open shading language improvements and better compatibility with Material X. That's all the features we have today. If you'd like to support the developers and contribute to the funding of Blender, check out the Blender Dev Fund where you can donate today.